Barges by Rachel Thompson. In this engineering technology class, we've gone over the several types of core technologies used in real-life situations, and for this project, two technologies are present. These are fluid and materials technology. Fluid technology is when energy is transmitted and controlled completely by fluid, and materials technology is the use of items to be put together to form a final product. We then start to talk briefly about the Eastland disaster, which is one of the most devastating tragedies in Chicago, taking place on July 24, 1915, between Clark and LaSalle Street bridges. It occurred when the steamer was heading for Michigan City, Indiana with 4 vessels. The steamer had a capacity of 2,570 people, but on board there were at least 3,200. This, along with the instability, caused the disaster. Because of this disaster, we then started to go over important topics that needed to be covered in order for us to gain a better understanding on the project at hand. This is when we began to talk about Archimedes' principle. This is a principle that states that any object immersed in any liquid is buoyed or lightened up by a force equal to the weight of displaced fluid. This principle covers both floating and submerged objects, and all liquids and gases. It also explains the buoyancy of other vessels in water, the rise of balloons in air, and the weight loss of objects underwater. We then begin to talk about the simple terms common in the world of boats, such as displacement, metacenter, and the meta-text canals. One of the first topics we talked about was displacement. This is the action when an object is placed in water and the water is pushed out of the way and takes its place. This can be measured by its volume, which is actually the same amount of volume that the object is displacing it. The next thing we talked about was the metacenter of a boat. This is the point of intersection of a vertical line through a center of buoyancy of a floating body with a vertical through this new center of buoyancy it displaces. A canal is an artificial waterway constructed for navigation, agriculture, and power. Therefore, a sea level canal is a man-made construction that not only does the job of a regular canal, but it connects 2 bodies of water. A lock canal is somewhat of a transition from a sea-level canal to something much more. Within the man-made canal, there are small sections where boats travel inside and are encased by walls that then pump water into the area or filter water from outside. These ports are called locks. Locks allow boats to travel from one place with a lower sea level to a place with a higher sea level with great ease. An example of both a sea canal and a lock canal would be the Erie Canal. When building this boat, the only materials that was needed was several trays of styrofoam, a box cutter, a hot glue gun, a ruler, a paperclip, and a tremendous amount of patience. This is due to the fact that perfection is not easily attainable. While you have to make sure that your boat is pretty much perfect, you can't focus on the fact that a single measurement is off or your cutting is crooked. You just have to move on. Building a boat is a very tedious process, and it's really just trial and error when it comes to testing. So just do your best and focus on little details when you're done the boat. And most of all, try not to make yourself miserable doing it. Just have fun. After you're finished building your boat, you then test for any holes that may be in them, patch them up, and then you begin the testing process. This was when you weighed your boat on a scale and writing down whatever number received and mark that as your unloaded weight. After that number was recorded, you then fill your barge up with as many blocks as you can, then hot glue a paper clip to the front of it and place it in the water. From that point on, you will attach a small hook through the paper clip that is connected to a wire and a sensor that will measure the speed of your boat as it travels along the waterway. The boat will be held in place for a few moments until Mr. Maloney tells you to release the boat and have it sent across. This will be done 3 times, and then the project is done.